Hey there, I'm Beth Vaucher from Inspiring Young Learners. Welcome to Sunday Strategy Sessions. Tonight, I'm going to share a strategy with you that you can use with any grade level, any subject, to really help your students with using vocabulary in context and sharing what they've learned with other students. This is one of my favorite strategies. It's called the Inside-Outside Circle, and it is quick, easy to use, and really little prep. So that's why I love it, because it takes really no time and you can do it with any subject. Before we dive into that, I want to share with you a few quick things about who I am and why I'm here with you tonight. First, I'm originally from Chicago, the beautiful city, a huge Cubs fan. And while I was in Chicago, I was a homeroom elementary teacher. I've taught K through 4, but I really love first grade and second grade. So that's where my expertise really is the primary grades elementary. I had ELL students all the time in my classes, in my homeroom class. And so that was really where I've learned how to support ELLs and to help them in the mainstream classroom. Now, during that time, I got my bilingual and ESL endorsement. And so I was able to get training in how to help support the ELL students in my classroom. Well, about 7 years ago, I left the US, moved here to Panama City, Panama, which I still am here with my husband. And since then, we've had 2 girls. So we all live here in Panama. And honestly, this experience has really made my passion for supporting ELLs just grow immensely. I think it's partly because I continue to work with students from all around the world at an international school, but also because of my struggles as being a second language learner here in a Spanish-speaking country, and feeling those times of anxiety and embarrassment and frustration. That has just given me this passion to help students learn English and to really love the process. And so my passion is to equip educators to inspire and empower English language learners. Now, I want to take a second real fast to share with you who are the educators that I'm talking about. Well, like I said, I'm a homeroom teacher, and I think that's the difference you're going to see is there's kind of this divide I'm seeing where homeroom teachers are on one side and ESL teachers are on another side, and in different groups I'm in with Facebook and all these things. And I want to bridge that gap. I really want us to become teachers of ELLs, because when we decide that we're all teachers of ELLs, we're all language teachers, we can come together and we can collaborate and share ideas with one another. And maybe you're in a school where you and your ESL support teachers really mesh well and you get along really well. I would love to hear how you do that, because a lot of times the schools I've been in or I've seen, there's just this kind of divide between the support staff and the teachers. And especially if you're a homeroom teacher, I really am here to help support you, to help bring that collaboration with the ESL teachers. And so if you're interested, you can join our Facebook group, Inspiring Young Learners Engage, where we have tons of homeroom teachers and we have tons of ESL teachers. And we can continue those conversations there to figure out what's best for our students. How can we support them in the mainstream classroom and in their pull-out services or push-in models or co-teaching, all those things. That's where my passion lies, is teachers of ELL. So if you're a teacher of ELL and you're here right now, then welcome. And if you're not, welcome anyways. I am just so excited to share with you this really simple strategy that you can use tomorrow in your classroom. So let's begin. This strategy is called Inside-Outside Circles. It is one of the Kagan strategies. If you are not familiar with Kagan strategies, go Google them. They are amazing. They have a plethora of incredible cooperative learning types of strategies that I love, especially for when you have ELLs in your classroom, because it really helps them to be a part of what's going on in a comfortable environment. And so we're going to talk about that in a second. And so the inside-outside circles are an amazing thing to do at the end of a lesson. It's kind of like an exit slip type of thing. But what you can do is give your students a note card. Now you can also print one out, and I will include this. There's going to be a freebie link at the end with everything you need to get started, because if you know me, you know that I'm passionate about helping you and giving you the tools. So there's going to be a freebie at the end where you can download all these things for free and get started tomorrow. So one of the things are these little picture cards or note cards that you can use, or you can use a regular note card. It's really whatever's simplest for you. So what they would do is, let's say I used this when I was teaching animals and habitats with my first graders. So we had kind of gone over this for a couple weeks. They were really working on proper vocabulary with that unit. And this is a class of all levels, all languages, some students who had just begun learning English and some students who were fluent and, you know, were at a high level of English. So it wasn't all ELLs, it was a mixed group. So I would pass out a note card and I would say, just think of one word that's really sticking with you from this unit that we studied, or from this lesson, or maybe it's math you could use this for, science, something that's really vocabulary heavy, that you want to make sure the students are getting that information with. So what you can do is pass this out, have them write down the vocabulary word. You can then have them draw a picture. And then you can have them write it in a sentence or write the definition of it. You can choose what you want to do. Now, what I love about this is even your beginner ELLs, you can have them draw a picture. Have a draw a picture of something that you've seen throughout these units. Maybe they can't write the word, but you can help them write the word. Okay? Everybody can participate in this activity. So once all the students have done their note card, and remember you can either use this one that I'll give you at the end or just a plain note card. So there's really little prep for this, which is why it's great. Then you're going to go have the students stand, half the students in the inside circle facing out and the other half on the outside circle facing in. So they're paired up. Now, if you teach the younger grades, this is probably going to be the most complicated part of the strategy. But I will tell you, the more that you do it, the more the students will get really used to it and know how to set it up. But in my opinion, if you're teaching the lower grades, what I would do is call one student over at a time, face them outside, and so you have an inside circle, and then bring one student over and partner them up. Maybe older kids can do it right the first time, but if you teach younger kids, you know they need a lot of help to do these types of strategies. So once you have that set up, so every kid should be partnered up with another student. And if there's an extra, then you can jump in there and participate, do your own vocabulary card. And so what's going to happen then is they're going to begin sharing their vocabulary with one another. And so I might say that my word is camouflage. And then I have a picture and I said, I can't see the butterfly because it is camouflaged. And so I would share that with my partner. Then I would wait and let my partner share their card, their vocabulary card with me. So we're teaching one another. I love when kids become the teachers. It is so important to let the kids be the teachers. They learn a ton from each other. And so having opportunities like this strategy where you can quickly include this and they're talking to one another is huge, especially for your second language learners. Now, the other thing that I love is the affective filter is lowered in this situation. And what do I mean by that? It's not one student in front of the whole class that's sharing their card. That's scary. I'm a native English speaker, and that still makes me scared. I've also learned Spanish for years, and guess what? For most of the time, I didn't talk. I hated it. I was terrified. I really stifled my language because I wouldn't talk. And so this is an activity where the whole class is talking at one time. And so they're not afraid of speaking. They're sharing with their peer. So it's really lowering that affective filter and helping create an environment for your students, your ELL students, to want to share and want to talk. And so then what I love about this strategy as well, I just really love this strategy. What happens is those two partners switch cards. And so I would give my card to my partner, I would take my partner's card, and then the inside circle rotates one spot, and they have a new person to share with. Now, what's great about this is all of a sudden those ELL students in your class, or those students who might feel shy or insecure or anxious, that goes away because they're not sharing their idea anymore. They're sharing someone else's idea. So what do they have to be embarrassed about? All they're doing is reading with what's on the card. So they're also having to listen and take in from their peer so that they can teach someone else the word. So they would switch, they would then share, my word is habitat, and so on and so forth. You would then keep switching the inside circle until you get back to the first person you started with. And so this takes about 5-10 minutes, and there's so much dialogue going on. There is so much academic conversation happening in a controlled situation, but it's happening all at once. It's amazing to watch this happen. Now, something you can do to take this a step further, and this is also going to be included in the free packet that I'll share with you, is now I love printing on Post-its. So these are printed on Post-its, but you can print them as well and not do it on Post-its. But it's kind of a quick exit slip to see what did they remember from their peers teaching them. And so on it, it's just a simple, here's a vocabulary word that stuck with me. Here's how I would use the word in a sentence. So you can take the strategy a step further and have them just reflect one word that they learned and one way they would use it in a sentence. So then you're monitoring their comprehension, how do they listen to their peers, all of that stuff, and they can stick this wherever, leave it on their desk, and what a great way to finish a lesson. Okay, so it really is minimum preparation, minimum amount of materials, but really impactful, especially with your ELLs in your mainstream classroom. So that is my go-to strategy when I'm really a heavy lesson with vocabulary, or trying to break up a lesson maybe. If you need some movement and getting them to interact with one another, this is one of those great strategies to use. Now, like I said, I'm going to give you everything you need. So in a minute, you can go to this website that I'll tell you, and inside you'll be able to download all of these things for free. The first thing is a little cheat sheet. So it tells you how long it will take, what materials you might need, what domains does it cover, is this better for whole group, small group, and then it just gives you everything you need to get the breakdown, some tips and tricks, how to run this smoothly. I think a lot of times with the strategies that we use, if we try it once and it doesn't go that well because of just the logistics, sometimes we give up on it. So I try to point out some of those things to think of beforehand so that you're ready for that, and then it runs really smoothly. So you're going to get a cheat sheet of the inside-outside circle. You will get the pages of vocabulary cards. You will also get a expectation worksheet or poster that you can put up, have these on anchor charts. And so this is kind of an easy thing to show the kids, okay, here's what we should be doing right now, getting in the circle, talking to one another. That also comes with these expectation cards. So these visuals are really helpful if you have ELL students in your classroom, especially the newcomers who might be unsure of all the movement and what's going on and what's the expectations. So these little visual cards can be really helpful. And then the last thing included are these printable sticky notes that you can use as an exit slip. So to grab this freebie, all you have to do is head over to www.inspiringyounglearners.com/inside-outside. Okay, I will put that in the comments right after this so that if you didn't get that, you can grab it right in the comments. But head on over, grab this for free. I will be back again in 2 weeks to share another strategy with you. And in case you missed it, a couple weeks ago, I was live on here sharing about the Think, Pair, Share strategy and how to take that a little bit deeper and make it more meaningful. So you can go back and see that on Facebook, and then also grab a freebie strategy packet for the Think, Pair, Share. So join me again in 2 weeks. Thank you so much for being here and taking your time to be a part of this. If you found this helpful, please share it with other people. Again, my passion is to help give you all the tools you need to feel confident and to enjoy working with English language learners in your classroom. So have a great night, and we will see you soon.